these Friday ones are becoming really fun ones. Since there's a whole range of like seemingly random topics that we're talking about. And hopefully it's a little bit more lighthearted, but at the same time, yeah, hopefully still informative, educational to some extent.
That's the thing. I'm aware that like I'm drained from a week of work, so my mind's running a bit slower. But also, I'm really just like I'm in a good mood because it's the end of the week.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a bit of both, and you know, it results in some fun conversation, even if it's a bit slow and dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes like those kinds of conversations are the best. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. And for those of you that do not know about the Discord server, you can find the link to it in the description box below, where we have some exclusive Discord events and where I also do regular paint overs. And of course, to meet other awesome artists as well.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks as always, Toms, for joining in on the stream as well.
my pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right. And since you have your stream up, I will be sending my flexibles over to you.
Come, flexibles, come to me.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. And as always, stay stretchy.
Yes, he said the thing.
Yeah. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. See you guys.
And now you're live with me.
Yay.
Wow.
Now they get even more of me.
And I can put another notification out. Boop. Oops. I did that wrong. I didn't tag everyone. I didn't spam everyone. Let's delete that.
Come on, guys. We need a catchphrase when we raid people.
What's up, stretchers? Stretchy raid.
Stretchy raid.
Stretch raid. Yeah, just flex. You come in and you flex, just like, oh yeah, I'm so muscly, man, so big.
Feels like we're just a server of bodybuilders or like a channel of bodybuilders.
Yeah, you'll do this to someone else, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, do you stream like exercise routines and stuff?" And you're like, "No, I'm an artist." And they're like, "What? What? Seriously? Ah, okay. Flex." I like it though. I think it's good.
Wait, I gotta open up your channel as well. Because
I'm about to post on Instagram. Post my lineup of characters. Oh.
You know, if you actually look on Twitch channels now, the description box is new. It's like there's a new UI.
Oh, as in like for your channel.
Everyone's. Yeah, like yours is new. Maybe yours got it before mine, but I don't know.
It might have, because yeah, I noticed and I was like, oh, that's cool. And you can like choose a tiling background and stuff. It's nice. It's like nice and seamless because you go onto the channel and then you click, like it tells them that you're streaming, and you just click on like this bar at the top and it just takes you into the stream.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
Can even see like the yeah. Basically, you don't have to change tabs anymore, which was really annoying actually.
It's good stuff. I'm impressed. Well done.
Awesome. Thank you, Twitch. Very cool.
Yeah, thanks, Twitch. Very nice. All right, let's.
Do you actually save your stream videos, by the way, or only selected ones?
So I do it when it's like basically when I deliberately plan to edit them together. So I haven't bothered with these, and I've been turning off recording as I start streaming. In fact, I forgot to do it this time, just because I don't need to. Like, I don't intend to edit any of this footage together because it's inconsistent, far too lengthy. I don't want to think about that whilst I do these characters, because otherwise, like, if I aim to record these characters as I make them, I will never finish this challenge.
Right.
because it
Yeah,
would
there's
constantly
a
be
certain
like a
pressure.
barrier to entry for me.
Yeah. And there is a certain pressure when you're actually recording something because you don't want to like loaf around too much.
You don't want to look around, but also you don't want to start recording for like a 5 or 10 minute session of drawing and then do something else. And so for
Yeah.
me, it's like
Oh,
if there's any time that I'm thinking I might start drawing, I'm like, oh, I should make sure this is a time I can sit down and do at least an hour so that I can record it and it'll be worth doing. And
yeah.
then of course my then is like, okay, well actually I need to do this next thing in like 20 minutes, so I won't record now and I won't do this piece of art now.
Yeah. It's so annoying though when you kind of do that and you end up having all these like small segments you have to stitch together.
Yeah, exactly. And like, each of them ramps up to the point where you're actually comfortably drawing and then kind of falls off at the end. And so
Yeah.
for the sake of not slowing down, I've just decided that I'm not going to bother with these.
Mm-hmm.
I have all the Fruit
Keep
People streams that I can edit at some point, which would be cool.
honest.
And
That's
I
great.
think it will also require a lot of like editing to if I wanted to make it so that each character goes through one by one instead of like me switching between each of them as I go. But
Mm,
there should be some interesting stuff to see in those recordings.
yeah.
So I'm gonna try and edit those together at some point, but that's not happening until I'm finished with this challenge.
That's what I'm realizing as well. It's like even if I want to put clips on my YouTube channel, like it doesn't have to be perfect clips. Because I was thinking about, oh, highest production value, yeah. But then it's like, well, the information in there still can be useful, even though it's like not got fancy edits and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. That's essentially what I went with that like stream video where I'm gonna chuck it up. Some people said they wanted it. I'm just putting it up, and then yeah, if people find it useful, then that's great. But it's not.
Yeah. Your
It's
low
not
quality
edited in the
video
slightest.
inspired me to make my own low quality videos.
Heck yeah! Let's fill YouTube with trash.
But no, it's true though. Like I actually do mean that where just seeing that, people still enjoy these like quickly done videos makes me realize that you know what? I mean the content still doesn't is wait, let me rephrase that. Uh People don't mind as long as there's still good content.
Basically, yeah. I'd like
So
to
yeah.
do a series of like small bites of an interesting topic that I can do that will feel much less lengthy to make because I can do a short video about a single thing, cover all the bases, give a little example, and like something that's under a
Yeah.
minute. And I'd quite like to do those. I think that'd be a good format because
Um
hmm,
mhm.
I might be able to like make that kind of thing like in an evening rather than trying to record a bunch of stuff and then uh, have to like, spend a chunk of a day at the weekend editing it.
Mhm. I think there's one thing that I've been inspired by, and maybe I'm interested in trying it out for art. But I follow like a jujitsu channel where there's this guy that gets Q&As a lot,
Hmm.
and he just answers them on video rather than just with like written text. So he's like, oh, I have a question from this person here today, and I will now. And sometimes they come in with like a specific problem, and sometimes he just answers with words, but then sometimes he actually like does a demonstration. So I think that could be a good format. It's like, hey, TCK from England, has a question here saying that, oh, how do I practice figure drawing? And then you can be like, okay, that's a good question. And I'm going to show how I approach figure drawing and what things I keep in mind while I approach it.
Yeah,
Then create like a short video, like 30 minutes, maybe.
I think that is
That
actually a very good idea because it's making the question more helpful for more people, and it's giving you something extra from your work that you put in answering it essentially.
and I feel like you're in a way like interacting with the community or audience too, because rather than you actually deciding what to talk about, you're actually addressing what seems to be very real issues for very real people.
I think that's actually a very good point. Yeah, you go into the video and immediately it's understood that this is a real problem and not just like my vision of what the problem might be, because that's warped now that I have gone through and probably forgotten a lot of the struggles that I had when I was learning.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still learning, of course. Everyone is. It's just now my problems are different.
Yeah.
They've morphed into something else. So
Mhm. And I actually think that just because they hear it from someone else who's maybe like going through something similar that they are, that could be an extra point of assurance.
mm. Yeah, it's
Where
nice to
it's
know
like,
that you're not like the only one, sort of thing.
yeah. So I feel like there's an added benefit to it rather than just saying, hey, TCK here with a video on how I approach figure drawing. I mean, that in itself will be a useful video, but I feel like hearing that, oh, this is because he's doing this video because someone else is struggling with it too, you know?
Mm.
So it's very humanizing, I suppose.
It makes it real.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's something that I want to try out sometime. But at the moment, I think I have my hands quite full. But I would like to maybe like open up ask me anything on Instagram and then select a few answers to make videos from, you know, something like that.
Yeah, and like you really can go for the low, not the low quality, but like the just just off the cuff. Like you read the questions and immediately go into giving some answers about them. Uh,
Yeah.
like rather than trying to plan stuff out and need to edit it afterwards. Like you can do it in Photoshop, so you can have like you can scribble over stuff as you go. And it makes it so much easier for you because it's like a stream. You just hit record, do it, stop recording, and maybe you can add an intro, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So it also feels a bit more like raw, I suppose, rather than like professionally edited and between every point is like with flashy cuts and loud dubstep music. Wop, 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 wop.
Wah, wah. That's a good point.
It's not
Yeah.
even a thing anymore though. And you should catch up on some of the comments in your chat.
Yes. Jordan here to spread the tough love. Yeah, to do something like the flex tape. Steal that steal that IP. Start infringing on them.
Flex tape.
What would like the art product? Flex tape for artists, what would that be?
What filter? Noise filter?
Yeah. I'm just thinking
Or chromatic aberration?
like this tape or this flex product will make you more flexible as an artist.
Oh.
Introducing
Yeah,
Flex Reference.
pains. Whoa.
Hmm?
I mean, it's kind of true though. Like I've actually, it's been like so long since I've experienced wrist pains, back pains, and whatnot. Since like
That's a good
last year.
point.
And hey, Yarun, and hey, Russell.
Hey,
It's
hey.
it's a me, Jordan.
Hey, Sammy. Boss.
I'm just hijacking Thomas's stream after he hijacked mine.
Exactly. It's beautiful. It's a back and forth. It's really nice.
Yeah, I'm like that parrot, you know, in Aladdin. I'm just like
Parasite.
raiding chat, just being an all-round nuisance.
I hate the parrot in Aladdin. Like, John, you're nothing like the parrot in Aladdin because I despise him.
What?
And I
He's
don't
super.
despise you. Aww. Ain't that cute?
Well, that's something to aspire towards. To not be
Not
despised.
be despised by me.
I know that I've done good in life if I'm not despised by Thomas.
It's more like, I think with me, it's more that you know you've really done something bad if you're despised by me.
All right.
I feel like in general, I'm not someone
Wouldn't
to
you?
get angry at people. At least not to their face, you know?
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a challenge.
I think it would be interesting. Like, what could you do that would actually like really annoy me? Or what would like a reasonable thing that you might choose to do that would really grind my gears? I'd be like, that's actually unacceptable, Jordan.
What, calling you in the middle of the night?
No, I think that'd be fun. I probably
When
wouldn't
you're,
mind.
when you're sleeping.
I mean, this is super weird, but I mean, if you just called and then put it down, I'd be like, that was a weird thing that I can tell people happened, and people would be like, probably other people would judge you more than I would.
Silence says win all the competitions, TCK will enter for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good one. I'll grind my gears, but I mean, I couldn't hold it against him. It's not like he was doing it. What? Yeah, he could literally like hide stuff in his entries, which is all about how it's just there to stop me,
What
just there
if
to
I
annoy me.
intercepted your delivery of Cintiqs and said, "Oh yeah, screw those guys for not sending your gift."
Yeah, but I that's still like it's not a thing that I would know you did necessarily. I guess if I discovered it, I'd be like, that was a weird thing to do, Jordan. And where are my Cintiqs? What the hell, man? Give him
Right.
back.
They'll probably still have been collecting dust either way, though.
Hey, they collect dust for a while and then they go to a new home.
Yeah, but at least it's my dust.
Yeah, exactly. High quality dust. I'd have to win in unfair ways. Yeah, you'd have to like you'd bribe judges and stuff maybe, or just like I guess if you did something which you pointed out something that my challenge did, or you made up some shit about me stealing ideas or something like
Yeah,
that.
slander.
That's great. I think that's a great way to really annoy someone.
Did you know Fruit People is actually based off of the words fruit and people? It's not an original name.
Damn it, Jordan! Shut up. On the topic of that, like being if that was an IP, uh, a couple of people have mentioned that their like nieces or nephews or just young people they know in their life really enjoy the Fruit People, and I was like, is this actually a very good vehicle to connect with children through? Um,
You found your true calling.
well, yeah, like because my mum's sort of always had these like, hey, you should do this and like and that and this could be a cool like business venture or whatever. Um, Originally, it was like draw the cute pandas that you draw, but make children's stories from them because um, yeah, there'll be like a big market, or like perhaps you could aim to sort of teach like some sort of book series that teaches English to Chinese children or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, and I think these
Shrek.
these are all interesting and probably very viable ideas. It's just I
Yeah.
like certainly at the moment I don't have interest in it. But then you see someone doing it really successful like Dina, and you go, oh, I mean that actually seems very possible, and also I really like what they're doing. Maybe I'd enjoy it as well. It's yeah, it's an interesting thought.
Hey Thomas, I'll also do you a favor and read some of the comments in the chat for you.
Oh, go for it.
All right, so there's one question by Andrew the neighbor, and he says, "Hey yo, a lurker here asking about how you come up with the ideas for this kind of contest. What is your thought process?"
I wanted to do something that I hadn't seen done before. So in this case, I'm taking methods of thought, methods like aspects of intelligence, and trying to draw character designs from those. Like find ways to represent these ideas that we mostly have in language, so idioms and stuff like that, and transfer that into design. So on a broader in a broader sense, I'm looking for things that can inspire visuals that I haven't seen referenced anywhere else. And then when it comes to the actual shapes, it's like that's far more vague, and it's based on shapes that I enjoy in other artists' work and shapes that I enjoy in photography, references, things like that. Um, but in general, yeah, it's me trying to find, specifically for this challenge, because it's all about creativity, trying to find ways to uh, communicate a character idea that I haven't seen made before. And at the beginning, that was just like me thinking a lot. Um, have you done any of these like large? You haven't done a character roster thing, have you, Jordan? Like when you did
I
your, have you?
remember my okay. I mean, it's not like you were around when I made it, but the last one that I did was my Chinese pirate gang.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
It's
Because
like
basically, I was gonna
3 years ago.
ask.
Holy crap!
Yeah, yeah. I remember seeing it, but of course, yeah, I wasn't. I wasn't around to see you doing it. Because essentially, at the beginning of this, I went on like a word search. You know, I was finding words that linked interesting ways that conveyed interesting ideas, and I started with those. A lot of it just being like finding a list of synonyms that relate to a certain word or phrase, and then branching off from that to find which one of those I think I can create visuals from. And I don't know whether you've done similar processes, because I know that Matthias was doing something similar when he was designing his characters.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be characters. I mean, if I'm doing like architecture or like
So I was going to say, basically, like for you, it can, or for anything, it can be the same process.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it goes back to for me trying to find like the root essence, rather than just like symbols of it. So if I'm thinking about trying to make like a scary looking architecture, I'm not just gonna look like, oh, scary looking houses in the world.
Yeah, you
Like I'd
don't.
actually think about like other symbols for the word scary that are beyond architecture. So like let's just say insects, spiders, or maybe just the fact that the house will be placed on top of precariously perched on a cliff.
Yeah, and then like the overall form of the house, and the basic
Yeah.
shape design, triangles, spikes, that kind of stuff.
But of course,
Wiggles that feel gnarly. What did you say?
but I'll still aim for something less generic, of course, because if it's a haunted house, then it's like whoop de doo.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Is to do proper sort of idea, um, yeah, brainstorming basically. And I mean, this dude here, he is my character based on the idea of a brainstorm. Um,
Right.
but that's the sort of approach I will take.
That's literally me.
Dude, you'd love to
Ooh.
make children's books to teach kids concept design and form language, ages 4 to 6. Yeah, get them
Yeah.
get them on like the hard stuff early. They
Yeah.
shouldn't be reading
Dude.
Dr. Seuss.
So good. By like age 12 and 13, they're already like like world's youngest concept artist working on a AAA game.
Yeah.
And you've got a subscription by Fang Bunny for the second month straight.
Thank you so much. So nice of you to be here. Do you plan to stream later?
That's why you need notifications.
It's true. I should probably just turn that on. It's an audio. It's the audio of it that I just need.
Oh,
Well, they
right.
should be on. That's the thing. I
And hey, Melchi. And Xylin also says, I'm guessing as a title for the book, says Grinding Perspective for Children, Billy the Box as the mascot.
yeah, Billy the Box. Yeah, that would be really cool though. Like it would be a nice breakdown of like seeing him from the side, and then there can be some story about how he felt a bit shallow and one-dimensional, and so he was like, I want to add a different facet to my life, and he rotates slightly in a plane, and you see
Yeah.
two sides of Billy the Box.
Yeah. Remember, kids, there's two sides to everything in life. Not everything's so one dimensional.
That would be really fun. Alert box? Do I just have to put alert box on? It'll pop up on screen, but it shouldn't.
You
It's no
can.
longer visible, but it should be audible.
You can just like shift it off of the screen.
I guess so. I mean, maybe
So,
that's. I'm going to. Maybe that's going to give it the give the
mhm,
audio back.
yeah,
Anyway, thank you very much. I didn't end up saying that. Thank you very much.
you did. But anyways, um, I'll continue reading out the rest of the comments for you. So my
So much
mailman
pressure from the strips on the way. Sorry.
says, "This is amazing. Holy hell! How long have you been drawing?" And also a couple more comments along those lines where Jenny She says, "Whoa, these look sick."
Also, someone was asking who my co-host is. This is Jordan Tuffy.
Well, I wouldn't say co. It's just a parasite, you know. That's
Environment designer extraordinaire. I'll put the link in the chat. Give
hey,
him links to everything you, everything Jordan.
just do my art station since it's open. Actually, you know what? I'll just
Do
open
the
up
stream. Definitely
my
do the
Twitch
stream.
channel because people are actually on my Twitch chat.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, on Twitch right now. Why am
Yeah.
I copying and pasting the link? Oh yeah, and also my art station is here. If you guys want to see like the
Some
portfolio.
cool shit. Oh, I do have notifications again. Andrew the neighbor, thank you. Okay, it's
You know,
fixed. I guess it's probably a good thing that I have that now. Sorry, what were we answering though? Billy the Box, I think is a fantastic idea. I'd like to do that. I feel like
oh yeah,
I would want to go in depth with it to the extent that it would be like it would be in the framework as something for kids, but really it would be appreciated by
dude. Honestly,
an
like
older
just
audience.
drawing one dimension. I mean, like the house, that notorious drawing of the house with two hills and a sunset in the background, and like birds that are just essentially like two upside. It's like an upside down W.
Yeah,
Like just teach them 1 point perspective. Damn it!
yeah.
Whenever the kid just doesn't trace back to the vanishing point, that's when you give them a smack. That's wrong.
That's wrong. Do it again. I mean, you mentioned the fact that yeah, like basically teaching perspective to children, and it's interesting you bring it up because on my art foundation course, this is when everyone's finished their A levels, so we're 18, going like these are people who have chosen to do an art foundation course because they want to do art at university and then presumably become illustrators, graphic designers, that kind of thing. In the illustration class, we had to be taught, or the teacher did teach us what perspective was, basically. She was like, this is how to construct a box. You draw 3 points, you draw lines between them, and you connect them up, and you have a box. And half the class didn't know this, or hadn't done this before.
Yeah.
And that sort of blew my mind. I was like, how have you not done this before? Isn't this
Yeah.
essential teaching? And then it made me think that actually in secondary school, I was never taught how to do that. It was something I knew before secondary school.
Dude, let's face it though, even the teachers sometimes don't know about it. So how can you teach what you don't know?
It's fair. That's very fair.
But it's really paltry, man. Like just the art education at school. Like, come on, at least teach perspective. Like maybe design is a whole beast in itself, but at least teach like perspective and just clear cut fundamentals.
Basically, it's just they feel like the absolute basics of what you'd need to learn to start drawing, and people hadn't gone through them.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a really good point that Zion makes. It's just like schools are not about teaching; they're basically a make stuff class. And I
Yeah.
totally agree. It feels like you go in and they have their lesson plan is we're going to do this thing, and there's no explanation as to how to do it well. What a good example of it being done well is. It's just like you go in and you do it, and it's
Remember, there's no wrong answers.
exactly, and they're engaging. I think because a lot of the time it's like I remember a great example, which is we did cracked paint texture stuff. So you get PVA glue, you spread it across a surface, and you paint over the top. And the PVA So the paint dries quicker than the PVA, and so it cracks open, and you get a cool texture from it. And it's like, yeah, we learned how to do that texture. Awesome.
Eating.
Hmm?
That's not meant for eating.
Not meant for eating? What?
Oh,
And that's
looks
the
like a big.
thing. It's like that's something that I have learned. I guess I now know how to do that, but there was no sense of this could be useful to give a texture to a painting, or this could be a
Yeah,
useful thing for presentation of something. Like it was just let's do it because it's easy to understand.
yeah.
It doesn't require any thought, basically. I don't know. I'm very
But
critical.
the reason why it compels or like appeals to a lot of people is just because it's so different than every single class. You actually get to express yourself, even if you can say there's not much value or transferability of skills to being a professional. At the
Yeah.
very least, it still allows you to express like
Well, this is it. I really enjoyed my classes, so perhaps that's what they really are just ultimately aiming for. They're like people who are creative should have a fun experience of creation at school, so that
yeah,
they and it's kind of like when you're being taught these things, when you're being taught anything, ultimately you have to be the one to put the work in to actually master it. So, regardless of the teaching, a lot of the time it's up to you to make sure you've actually learned something, and that goes for every subject. So with art, maybe more so with art than anything else, since it's so much more personal to you, and you have to kind of like take responsibility almost for finding uh, your own way of expressing yourself, like your own
yeah.
influences, um, your own taste, because that's what makes you different from the teacher that's teaching you.
And I would even dare say, like going back to what sparked this initial conversation, is if you're talking about teaching kids fundamentals, I actually feel like if you try to get them adhering to strict rules and things like that at the start, like it might actually end up extinguishing their joy of creation, you know?
Yeah, basically, because like when we learn fundamentals,
That's not how it's supposed to be, then
yeah,
it might make them feel, yeah, it's like, this isn't fun.
exactly. Like you lose your creative, like your pure creativity as you learn the fundamentals, and then you just aim to try and get that back afterwards.
Hmm.
That's kind of what like the artistic journey is after you've learned fundamentals, is how can I become sort of purely creative again?
Dude, it's not just kids, like even a lot of adults that want to become professionals. It's like it seems to me like for some people they feel like professionals telling them that hey, you need to buckle down and learn the fundamentals seems to be like a lie or something. It's like as if we're telling it to them just so that we can purposefully mislead them and cause them to waste time so we'll have less competition.
And
But
to
like
some
it's
extent,
that in my opinion.
yeah, like the videos that you see of speed paints and stuff where like, professionals who use a specific technique to get something done quickly. Like if you watch a photo bash speed paint video, then um, it's going to give the impression that there's like this quick way to do something properly or do something and make it look good. That why like you don't need to do the fundamentals. They weren't using fundamentals. They didn't construct perspective in that speed paint. They just bashed some photos in, and it looked
Yeah.
great. Like, why don't you teach me how to do that? I don't need to learn how to construct a box in perspective. And
Yeah.
therein lies the problem. They've missed the point, or they've missed they haven't seen what's happening behind the scenes. They can't see what's the inside of the artist's brain as they do that. Because
Yeah.
that's where the intelligence is. That's where the.
I was also one of those people too. It took me a while before I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's something to these fundamentals and drawing boxes.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe there's something to this. When was that, by the way? Was that when it was like drilled into you at FZD, or was it like
Actually, after because even at FZDA, it's like after I completed the assignment, it's like, yeah, now I know how to draw in perspective. I never need to go back to these boring exercises.
brilliant?
So it's
Yeah,
that sense of like false mastery. It's like doing it once, it looks pretty good, but it's not like ingrained learning. It's like just shallow learning, you know?
yeah. Like I get a sense that there's many times where I've felt like it's clicked for me, and I was like, this is so much more important than I've ever like treated it. And even recently, before I went through all these characters again and reposed them and like added much more life to them, it was just looking at New Milky's work and being like, yeah, there's actually so much that I'm currently missing that this artwork captures, and I need to reconsider how I'm approaching these characters because they can have so much more life in them than they currently do.
And also link the artist into the chat that art Thomas was inspired by. There's I think the comment section has been quite neglected. So once again, I'll just read through some of them for you.
Well, I've just seen we don't need to upgrade from CS6. The code for that cool masking is out. Oh yeah. Let's open that. Let's open that up so I don't lose it.
What's that? Oh,
So,
let's see.
like the new, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the new Creative Cloud version of Photoshop has this like AI masking feature.
Yeah, I've been using that.
And you've been using it, well, fair enough. I mean, it's about time I just upgrade, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
Because essentially, I just need to check with work that I'm able to use my work account at home.
Yeah, but I've already upgraded, so whatever.
Oh,
But yeah, I don't know if you noticed, Andrew the neighbor also subscribed at tier 1.
I believe I did.
Okay,
I
right.
believe I
And it
did.
says thank you for the answer. Here's your money. And
Thank
says
you.
$5 for answers, absolutely a steal.
I'm generous with information. That's a nice way to look at it. I like that.
Yeah. If I had $1 for every question I answered.
I would have about $20. God damn!
Yeah.
Wow. Someone was asking Intuos versus Cintiq. I'm currently on Intuos, and my general opinion, at least for me personally, is just I find Cintiqs difficult to use. It's just maybe I haven't given them a long enough try. But
Good.
so what were you saying?
No, you go. Sorry.
For some reason, when I'm speaking, like I can hear in my headphones that it actually cuts your voice out, and I'm not sure why that is. But yeah, like I just find them very difficult to use. Like I don't get a sense that I'm able to sort of see what I'm doing at all times. It's really odd, and I feel like it naturally gets me to draw in a certain way, and it's harder to like try and work in a different style that's not natural to me, which is an odd feeling, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. But I'm also curious to actually analyze some artists and see if the ones that use Cintiqs have a more consistent style amongst their work versus people that don't. I'm not sure if that's going to be a general trend, but for me, it felt like if I want to draw
studies for that.
But anyway, the general thing is if you have a chance to try a Cintiq out, try it out. If you like it, like most people have described that, they try it for a bit and it feels great for them, and they go, yeah, no, I can't go back, sort of thing. And it was the opposite for me.
I hate it.
I tried it out quite a few times, and I went, unfortunately, it's not working for me.
Yeah, same.
Oh, the guy's face is an iris. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's a big eye on top. Interestingly, a lot of people thought that was a sun.
Oh.
And it's quite sun-like, but I mean, the point was, yeah, it's a big eye. In fact, I'm still not sure whether I should go for like a bright yellow in the middle and basically do both sun and eye at once. It's just a big yellow eye kind of just feels a bit jaundicey.
Well, I mean, if it's super bright, it'll be overexposed, though.
Yeah, like I could just go for like a pale yellow, and that feels
just
better.
have like severe case of like eye crusting.
Yeah, and that's it. That's kind of what it feels like to me. Maybe it's okay. Maybe I can find an in between, but it could also just be like a warmish glow on the inside. I'm not sure what material I want to go for, whether it's solid or whether it's kind of translucent.
Just reminds me of the angel from Neon Genesis, the one that's like drooping acid from the eyes.
Oh yeah, I remember that. They were cool. Very, very cool.
And also, there's more comments from
Andrew the
early.
neighbor. How are you guys?
Um, I'm older than Thomas.
I'm younger than Jordan. I wonder if we could make up a. I wonder if we could make up a puzzle. One of those like, if you doubled my age, then I would be 6 years
Yeah.
younger. And then if you tripled his age, he would be the square of my age. Oh, or something weird like that.
Question is, what is the fifth son's name?
Yeah.
It just becomes this conversation. And during that
I can't ask a lady that. Come on.
subscription.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, just to make it straightforward, I'm 28.
I am 22.
Yeah,
Not that it should matter to you.
you
Um,
zoomer, you.
and I do think that I think it shouldn't matter. That's my
Yeah,
take.
don't worry though. A lot of people had that reaction when he first arrived at the office, but after a while, it's like,
Eh.
it's Tom.
It shows he's an
Tom.
immature bastard.
It's like, yeah, it
He's
shows.
an annoying piece of shit.
Yeah, it's like, well, at least I'm mature.
Yeah.
How to wipe myself.
Cintiqs are a primitive technology that are a step back, going back to blocking your art with physical realm of the body instead of transcending to the digital space. Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's truth in that. Like, I don't think a Cintiq is an augmentation of you, whereas I would say that a tablet is, because
Yeah.
the tablet allows me to do things faster and more efficiently and a whole bunch of things, whereas I think the Cintiq
Yeah.
mimics.
And it saves me from injuries too.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And actually, that's I was chatting to someone. They were messaging me basically the same question through Discord, and I had to end it with saying the other caveat is that whilst yes, Cintiqs are more obviously potentially bad for your back and stuff, with either you need to make sure that you've got a low sensitive or a high sensitivity, so that you're putting a low pressure into your pen, because if you can train yourself to react better to low pressure, I think firstly it actually gives you better control, but secondly it's going to save your wrist
And shoulder
and shoulder, yeah.
for some people.
And I think that's really important. So all of you right now, go and change your pressure sensitivity. Like, you just incrementally make it more and more sensitive until you feel like you can't
Yeah.
control it.
It
I
actually
can.
saved me from developing a death grip on my own stylus. It's just actually making it more sensitive. And as a result, it's made me better at line work as well. So yeah,
I'll see if I
there you
can find the my graph. I'll show you what the graph looks like for me.
This is probably like a good tip for like one instant tip that you can apply to instantly improve your concept art.
Yeah, instantly improve your life. Yeah, I have a pretty harsh curve.
Yeah.
This space is like useless because it requires so much pressure to use that I don't want have to use this space. So it means I can get to full pressure far faster.
And they
And
say art isn't a science.
and then yeah, this chunk at the beginning just means that when I want to be really fine and delicate, I can be essentially. So yeah, it's worth doing because basically I just find that out of the box, Cintiqs and Intuos require too much pressure to use.
And Strong Beyond Strong says, I already developed a death grip from other outlets. Unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to make it worse. George
Sounds like
says, "Hey, T-Skate, love the streams where you're talking to your friends. It's got that podcast feel to it, and it's really nice to listen when
great.
you're chilling or as a VOD." I agree. I mean,
Oh,
because we've been doing the same thing the other way around as well. I've just come from Jordan's stream. Like, we've just
yeah.
find that it's conversation flows better. You get more nuanced takes on questions because you get two answers, and
Yeah.
in general, it's nicer. It's nicer for everyone because we can. I mean, I wasn't helpful at all on his stream because I was letting him read his own chat. but
I'm the one reading out the comments in his chat now.
but I should try and I should try and change that a bit. Um, yeah, like it means that you can sort of share the load to some extent.
Yeah.
And it's not just in terms of reading chat; it's in terms of like when you're trying to concentrate on the image you're making, having to switch back to concentrate on saying something of insight to somebody. That can really break your concentration.
And Silence says, there we can see the age gap at work.
Yeah, I'm just shirking my responsibilities.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, it can be difficult. I would say that's a bit of a downside, is that it's it's a little bit easier to just miss the comments in the chat just because the conversation is going. You don't want to interrupt the guest, but by the time the guest is finished and you've given your answer, that comment that's been left in the chat is now like outdated. So it feels a bit like, yeah, a little bit
Yeah,
strange.
you skip back to it and like they may have left. You
Yeah.
have no idea if they're even here still. The leader's been binge drinking for decades. Fuck liver. Also, personally, like the blue eye. Yeah, that's good. Good. I like the blue eye, I think. Also, someone was pointing out that they noticed the eye open versus eye closed on Brave and the leader. Well done. Brownie points. Clever. Big brain. It's the idea of just they see everything that is visible, and then the other person sees things which are not visible to the naked eye. Like the leader is all fourth dimensional and stuff, so they see from every angle and from angles that you can't imagine.
When
To
you find
put
it
it
in perspective.
to put it in perspective, in the same way that on a 2D creature can't see inside a 2D box.
Oh my god, not this.
Yeah, we're going to explain it. Look, here's a box, and here's a little 2D creature, and they have an eye,
Oh.
and they can't see inside that box. They see the box like we would see a cube. We see the outside of it. But of course, from the third dimension, we can see what's inside the box. It's a little love heart. And in the same way, a fourth dimensional being would be able to see inside a box. They'd be able to see every angle of it at once, and the inside of it.
My brain hurts.
Oh, my brain. So
Came here to feel, not to think.
I don't want to think. So that's the idea behind it. And yeah, then this character has insight, so they see properties of objects that aren't visible from any angle, like magical properties, that kind of thing.
Well, that knowledge alone is worth more subscriptions, don't you think, chat?
Yeah, I just shared another valuable piece of information. Ah,
That one's gotta be worth like $10.
apparently, if you doubled my age, I'd still be 2 something. I'm not sure. Which studio do you work at? I'm currently at Playground Games, and Jordan is at Atom Hall.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, someone commented. Thank you, Ruben.
Yeah. And also, Day Smurf just dropped by and said, I love the concept art and style. Glad I dropped by.
Thank you very much. Oh wow, there is a lot of chat. I'm way back. I need to put it back onto auto scroll. Man, displaying science again. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna tell everyone about this. I have read a decent amount of Discworld, or at least I've listened to audiobooks. Unfortunately, it was a long time ago, and so I've forgotten a lot of it.
Sounds like a music shop, Discworld.
Discworld. Discworld. Come get out your favorite discs. Have you read much Discworld?
Discworld.
Have you read any Discworld, or are you familiar at all?
No.
Oh, it's the work of Terry Pratchett, and it's
Oh,
very good, very very good. In fact, I
nice.
enjoy listening to audiobooks whilst I work sometimes when I'm not on something too demanding. So I might actually start listening to some Terry Pratchett again.
I see.
The one I remember the most is there's a golem or something going around trying to find all the parts to create a human, to create a body, and they just have this phrase they keep repeating, like something enough to make a man. I can't remember what the rest of the story was about though, so yeah, unfortunately I forgot. There's the Wee Free Men though. I really enjoyed the Wee Free Men. That was good.
Just sounds like a bad mispronunciation of Wi-Fi.
The Wee Free Men. Wee Free Men. They're like they're tiny leprechaun people. Solid Snake can see inside the box. Wow, there's colors now.
There's cat in fourth dimension.
Also, yeah, Jordan. When are you planning to finish up for the night?
I should do it now. I mean,
Uh,
it's too much fun actually.
it is fun. Well, basically, I was going to do the same thing with someone else. Luzen in the chat. Lusan
Oh,
GG.
okay. Yeah, all good. I
So
mean, I,
basically, they can join. You can say hi if you want.
yeah. If it's not too long, but otherwise, I'm just gonna drop off now.
Fair enough.
But with that said, yeah, it's a lot of fun doing this, and yeah, hopefully you guys in the chat also are enjoying it as well.
They seem to be, which is good.
All right, you know what? I am actually gonna drop off now since it's very close to my bedtime.
Aww.
Old man, this is where
Aww.
my shows again too.
Yeah, I might stay up quite late. It depends whether I feel like I want to just like go through all the characters at once, complete them all. We'll see though.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, thank you very much for joining. Thank you for
For
helping me keep up with the chat.
yeah, so I'll let you keep up with the chat better now. But yeah, I mean, I'll be chatting with you over the weekend anyways.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, for all those who have joined since, we're joined by Jordan at the moment, and I shall link his Twitch so that you can go and follow it. See you around when he streams next.
Me, Thomas, and also for the chat as well. Hopefully, it's at least been tolerable.
Tolerable.
Yeah,
Yeah, we tolerate him. He's allowed sometimes.
yeah, and yeah, it's just along the same lines of not being despised. All right, well,
I just want to be accepted, man.
stream Thomas, and yeah,
Thank you.
see you in the chat. Take care, everyone, and of course, stay stretchy.
Yeah, stay stretchy, stretch gang. What? See you, dude.
All right, see you guys.
Bye. Ah, Wheels and the Cheese is here too. Excellent. Oh, right. I have Jordan's channel open because that's where the notification sounds are coming from. Right. Yeah. Let's track down Lucan. It's going good. Thank you very much. Are you planning to stream at all this evening? Or join Lucan when he streams? What is streaming? I'll take that as a no. Okay, I need to get his skin color into here. Might give him some sort of wrap underneath. But I think a darker shoe will look good. And then I'm going to give the ends like a metallic finish. Like he's got extensions. Am I going to be streaming the whole process? Sort of. Like, basically, at the moment, I'm not recording or specifically making sure I'm streaming every time I work on this. Since it's the challenge piece, I'm aware that if I aim to record everything or to make sure that I'm live when I'm doing it, then I will. It's like too much of a barrier for entry, so I will end up not doing the work when I need to. I suspect I'll never get the challenge finished on time. So yes, I'm going to be on Twitch streaming it quite a lot just because I enjoy doing that. But it won't all be on Twitch, not every second of it, and I won't be able to like put together a video afterwards that has all the process. But yeah, a good amount of it will be streamed. And certainly, if I am live, then I'm going to be working on this for the next month, basically. So if I'm live, you know what I'm streaming. Alex Coman, sorry. First time here. Nice to have you. How you doing? To accost me again, definitely get on Discord from the start when you get the chance. They're really humbling and enlightening in a lot of ways. Yeah, I think I basically want to go through everything again because, like I said, the stuff that I have read, I've forgotten very large portions of. I only really have a sense that I enjoyed them a lot. That's about it. And I'd like to experience them again. And yeah, it's true. I only need part of my process. So I mean, maybe there'll be some bits salvageable from the Twitch VODs, but the thing is, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to try and download them until I'm done with the challenge, because like anything that makes me sort of think that I should potentially slow down and record something is going to act as like something I can essentially procrastinate with. So I'm going to avoid it. Thank you very much. What color is the hat gonna be? Basically, I'm thinking the same sort of color as the trousers, but I quite like having like a subtle difference between all these colors. As if it's kind of, they've been chosen out of a wardrobe to match, but they actually aren't the exact same material. Because it's a criticism I'd give some designs. It's like feeling like someone designed a costume for them and then put it together as if it was like a superhero costume. Like they had the same material to make each part out of. And I much prefer, a lot of the time, this kind of sense of it being scavenged. Not scavenged, but like in the same way you'd go to multiple different shops, buy multiple different items of clothing, and then piece them together on your own, like different designers and stuff. I want that feeling. It's fashionable because they chose the combination, not because someone deliberately tailored them a set. How to decide on the colors? So at the moment, I have a rough idea of the vibe I want each character to have. And the leader, I might actually push a bit further in terms of wacky colors. My current thoughts with this guy is that I'm going for kind of things that I associate with magic. So these kind of rich purples and golds and things I associate with like the sort of fortune teller look, the like magical wizardy vibe. It's unclear exactly where that sort of feeling comes from, but I have it regardless. Hello. Sorry. I didn't get any sound notification from Discord.
Sorry, the streamer mode was on. But that's okay.
Oh, is that what it means? Because it says streamer mode's enabled, stay safe, friend. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's just like it hides potentially sensitive information so that you don't accidentally screen share it.
It basically puts you on do not disturb so you don't get anything.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
explain a lot of things. That'd explain a lot of things. Okay. Sorry for the wait.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Are you streaming at the moment?
Yes, I am
Cool.
actually.
Then we shall make sure we link. Thank you.
Wow, thanks,
We've
Cheese Wheel. You
been
always got
meaning.
me, dude.
So just to check, you chat to Cheese. Wheel is the cheese. Cheese is wheel cheese.
Yes.
Okay, cool. On stream, but he doesn't stream.
Sometimes. He does
Multi-stream.
sometimes.
Ooh.
You hear that? Cheese Wheel, you should stream.
Yeah, definitely. If not, feel free to join if you want to. Cool. So the multi-stream has a combined chat.
Hmm.
Can I?
We have technology.
That's cool. So the problem is I only have a single screen, so I'm using my phone as the the chat. That's where I read my chat. It's maybe a good thing because it's
cool.
small and like I can ignore it if I
Yeah.
need to, if I need to concentrate. But can I open Restream on my phone? That's the question.
Do you guys know if multi-stream works on mobile?
Oh, it appears to. I just need to.
Oh,
Ideally, I can get rid of the video and just have the chat open.
are there any IT guys in chat?
Which currently seems a bit dodge. As in, like, the chat's tiny. It's there, but it's tiny.
Oh, it's easier to ignore. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Can ignore it even more effectively. Wow. Okay, I'm not sure what to do about that. Can I? The other thing is it currently taking the chat from both streams and combining them?
Wait, let me see.
Is that sort of roughly how it works? Because if so, then it sort of makes sense that we can keep on top of each side. But the problem is, like, if it, yeah, you don't think it does that. Okay.
Oh yeah, you have to switch between the two.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know how it works on mobile. Wait, let me see. I've never tried this before.
Oh, I can zoom in on the chat. So hopefully it will then just sort of update enough. Wait, it is combining them. Hey, and actually it's combining them and then sending it to me.
Wait a second.
On my...
That's cool.
Well, that's great. That's perfect because it means I can continue using my dashboard, stream dashboard chat. That's great. Perfect. That's actually ridiculously ideal. I was really not expecting that to work so well.
I didn't know it did that either.
Awesome.
Learning new things every day.
One screen gang. Hell yeah. Yeah. Do you have multiple screens?
Yes.
Get out of here. I'm so privileged. I really should. I said I'm very tempted to just get another, and like there's not much room on my desk, so I might go for one of those, like the arms that I can just like hang off to the side.
I'm not that cool though. Half of my desk is screen.
At the moment, most of my desk is speakers because someone at work was upgrading to something else, and I think they wanted something wireless, but they're like presumably a bit of an audiophile, so they had a 7.1 that they were selling off, and I just went, "Yep, I'll take that." for a very, very good price. But the thing is, like, then I've just surrounded all 7 speakers pointing in at me, so like they're ragely surrounding my desk. It's kind of glorious. It just does take up a lot of space.
Sounds kind of creepy. They're all just pointing at you.
Well, I
All 7
suppose,
of
yeah.
them.
They kind of, certainly when it's dark like this, they kind of just disappear in the shadows, which is possibly even creepier. But they do. It's nice. I enjoy it. So even if they are slightly imposing, it's a worthy trade-off.
Good sound is always nice.
Mm. What have you been listening to recently, music-wise?
A lot of Japanese indie music. My friends have been sending me a bunch of links. I'm like, this is great.
Oh, cool. Like, I'd say the only thing I sort of have experienced is the kind of guitar instrumental style, fairly indie sounding Japanese stuff.
Ooh.
Kind
I
of,
could send you some stuff if you're
but
interested.
yeah, please do. I'm always keen to find new things, especially when they're recommended. That's the thing. Like even when I try to sort of listen to something new that I've just stumbled across, like I'm always sort of more open to like try and appreciate something if someone's linked it and say that they liked it.
Oh yeah, I feel the same. It's like I trust your taste.
Yeah, basically.
X
And
person.
so even if it doesn't like immediately grab you, you listen to it and find the stuff in it which does appeal, or you just at least try and appreciate the subtlety of it.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I like that.
What kind of music do you usually listen to?
Most things electronic, really.
Oh.
And yeah, I'd say that covers most of it. Recently, I've been listening to Jacob Collier, which is not as electronic, but he's like a genius musician guy that is a bit mad. Like not really in person, but his music is. It's just brimming with like his incredible skill.
Oh.
And at
That
the
sounds
moment,
very interesting.
yeah, I'll link it back and then we can enjoy it. We can enjoy
Yes, please.
each other's suggestions. But it feels like what I'm trying to do with my characters at the moment, which is kind of just like push it further than, or try and push further than I've seen done. And just like, it feels equally potentially disjointed, but still marvelous at the same time. Let's send it to you.
I think that stuff's always like super interesting because it's like kind of rides the line of too weird, but at the same time, it's still
Yeah, I think that's
cool.
it. It's riding the point between like becoming too much at once. Like it's too much stuff. Certainly for like background listening, I think my brother was describing how like he couldn't really follow it when he's trying to work because it changes too much and it's got too much dense like information in it that if you're trying to concentrate on something else, you just can't appreciate it, and it's more distracting than anything. I think just because doing art doesn't require that like thinking process from your brain. I think the important thing is we can go into science again. The brain has the Broca's and the Wernicke's area, which are the speech centers for constructing speech and understanding speech. And as far as I know, basically visual art doesn't require much of it. Like when you're audiating something in your head, you're like thinking about how you describe something in words. Then you're using, I believe, Wernicke's area to do that, to actually sound the words in your head without speaking them. Certainly that does happen sometimes with artwork, and that's when, like, if you're listening to a podcast or something, you phase out and you stop following it, you stop listening.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. Like I get these tidbits because my girlfriend will describe the stuff that she's learned in her medicine lectures, and I love it. I really enjoy it. So I just get all this like secondhand knowledge, and the things that are sort of essentially simple enough for me to understand and like I can apply to an experience I have, they stick. And so I slowly gather like tiny bits of interesting but like fairly complex medical information. I like it. It's good fun. But I know what wouldn't be
There's
good
an
fun.
ice cream truck outside my house right now.
Oh, I hear it. Yeah, well, what time is it for you?
It is 5:30 in the afternoon.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's
It's gone.
approaching.
Oh man, I missed my chance.
Quick, go, quick.
I'll run after it. Wait.
Take my money. Is it a hot day? Is it nice?
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
Ice cream weather then.
Yeah.
Quick,
It's
go
too
after
late.
them. It's not too late.
Hold on, please. I've got my money in hand.
I wish I had more ice cream. Admittedly, it hasn't been as nice. The weather's sort of been a bit grey this week. But
Or,
I had bought ice cream and then ate it, and wish I had bought more to stuff my freezer full of it. But unfortunately, I don't really have room in my freezer either. So.
what flavor was it?
Oh, it was salted caramel.
Oh, that sounds so.
So good. I also had some
Is that
twisters.
your favorite?
Favorite ice cream flavor? I think I'll go for pistachio, but it's
Ooh.
difficult to say because it's like it's I don't get to have it often enough, almost. So it feels so special when I do.
That's true.
But then I can't say whether
It's
I
not
think it
very
would actually.
common.
Yeah, exactly. So like whether it's actually gonna outperform salted caramel for example, is I still can't say because I haven't had either enough to properly compare them. But I've had salted caramel a lot more. You know, it's a difficult one. Very important matter, of course, and I'll have to like make a spreadsheet and start recording my findings each time.
I enjoyed X flavor.
Yeah,
7 out of 10.
exactly.
This time, on this date.
On like satisfaction before, after, during, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else you can judge it, but yeah.
If there's anyone who's good at making these kind of research methods, let us know so we can figure out our favorite flavor of
Figure
ice
out
cream.
the best for us. Also, people are asking, have you ever tried experimenting with other art programs like Clip Studio or Procreate?
I've actually tried Clip Studio, but I'm so used to how Photoshop these or brushes work that it was weird.
Right. Is that like the way they're constructed, or is it just like, did they feel like they behave differently?
It's like you're using the mixer brush, but all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Potentially very cool, and that was Clip Studio, did you say?
Yes.
Ah. Because that used to be Manga Studio, right?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure, but I do think it was.
Because I figured that it would feel more like inking, like clean, perfect sort of line work stuff. And I feel like that's what I've seen from it as well. But I suppose it's different. Like I guess it will have paint brushes which behave very differently to how they then set up their ink brushes and stuff.
Brushing. Oh yeah, you could. Maybe I didn't fiddle with the settings enough. Because apparently you can turn off that setting where it's like mixing it, but
That would make sense.
I don't know,
I'd like to try that.
Maybe I'm just too used and biased to Photoshop. So
But that's the problem, isn't it? It's like, there may be things you like about it, but it can't replace like however many years of working solely in Photoshop. Yeah, I haven't tried anything else out particularly, at least not recently and seriously. I did use Procreate at a convention at one point, and it was nice, but I would use it if I had an iPad, but I haven't bought one, and I don't intend to. Not specifically for Procreate.
Procreate's really good. And it's
It
fairly
felt really
similar
nice to
to
use.
Photoshop.
I think it has a lot of similar functionality. And like it's the way it sort of deals with layer styles and that kind of thing are sort of, I think, mostly the same. I would like to have it. In fact, first prize for this competition, you win the new fancy iPad and Apple Pencil with Procreate. So that's the goal. That's the very unrealistic but very tantalizing goal. What kind of amp? Speakers, PC or proper connected to an amp? It's a proper one, so I have a giant amp, which is just huge. But I'm not going to complain. It does its job very well. And what else? What else? Have we ever listened to Kashiwa Daisuke? I have not. I think the main thing with foreign language music is that the vocals become an instrument and you can experience it differently. Yes, exactly. I love the fact that you can listen and enjoy the vocals of foreign music without being distracted by it. Strong beyond strong. I don't know if you've come across or seen any of the recent streams, but they've been in quite a few of my recent streams, and like we basically have the same opinions on everything. And so we were just chatting about favorite things, like favorite anime or soundtracks or games, things like that. And like he was basically just predicting my answers before I said them, which was fantastic. Apparently now pistachio is the next commonality. Pistachio ice cream in the summer. Are you me? Pistachio is something I have every summer. Should have was asking, are you cool like him? It requires an external opinion. Good point. Well, I can't judge if I'm cool on. Well, I can't judge who is cool or not. That's something that that Luzin can do. I'm curious. What is your cool guy criteria?
They have to be cool.
You have to be cool, man. I mean, it's a
have
good
to
enough
like
reason.
pistachio ice cream, actually.
Oh. Did you know that about me before? Did you just like sense it?
I think I just sensed it.
You just felt it. You're like, this guy's a pistachio boy.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
He must like pistachios. If he doesn't, my senses are not as sharp as I thought.
Yeah, you need to realign your senses if not. And there's a question, how do you have so many fun ideas? A lot of it is just making sure I go through a long enough process of exploring words, literally just words, before I went into visuals. So finding words that I just haven't found represented in pieces of artwork before. I don't know, do you do a similar thing where you like just do like mind maps of words and stuff before painting?
I don't like necessarily write it down. I just go through it really fast in my head.
Fair enough.
But yeah. I kind of like think of either words or topics and try to smash them together and see if I can think of something interesting.
Because that's it. For like a single illustration, a lot of the time it may be a single word that you never write down, but it forms an idea in your head that you then execute on. Whereas like, because this is a series of characters and it's for a specific purpose with a brief, like I know that I need to write them down because I can't hold all these ideas in my head at once.
Yeah.
And they're not, they have a purpose beyond simply an illustration. They've got to be more than that.
That's true. For just like personal things, I don't really make notes, but if it's for something specific, then yeah, I have to make notes or else I might lose track.
Yeah, that's where you just need to. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'd agree. I don't think I've done this. Like, I'll gather reference for personal things, and that's contains basically all the information I need. But most of the time, it's capturing an aesthetic rather than trying to distill specific ideas into a visual. Whereas, like here, I'm distilling specifically the idea of conjuring thoughts and conjuring ideas into a visual. That's what this character's supposed to be. And mischief and stuff related to mischief, like trap setting and that kind of thing. Jester, the feel of a jester and that kind of stuff. Also, should have this. They use Clip Studio and the base brushes are meh. Had to buy some decent brushes to, start enjoying it. Much like Photoshop. Yeah, it makes sense. Do you think Clip Studio has a similar? This is for the chat mostly. Does it feel as easy to create your own brushes in it? Because I find I can quite easily create brushes I need in Photoshop, and I constantly edit my brushes as I go, like changing the hue, like the color dynamics stuff as I go, because ultimately I just need a different amount for each area or each color of a character or something like that. Download a pack of 1,000 and use 2.
Sounds about right to me.
Pretty much. Like you find a brush that just works for you and you're like, well, this is kind of all I need.
And sometimes you'll just edit it to be like 3 different ones.
Yeah, basically.
But still the same base brush.
Because that's it. Like if you find yourself doing the modifications to a certain variation of that brush, you just save it as a new one. So you can constantly switch between those, like essentially presets.
Where's Araki on your cool guy meter? Oh, he's pretty cool, even if he doesn't like pistachios.
Ren FC had highlighted the message of how come you have so many cool ideas. We covered it basically, but a lot of it's you just need to be looking for new reference and like save reference that you think has something in it that feels special to you. Most of the time, you kind of have a feeling when you see something new, whether it's original, interesting, or sort of derivative, and you've seen it in other works before. So the only way you can get a sense of whether you've seen it in other works is by seeing a lot of works, and the only sense you can get for whether it's new is by seeking out interesting sources of references. So different cultures, sometimes in other artists' work, which is sort of a dangerous place to find ideas because you don't want to replicate the sort of things that other artists are making. But I find that they can be doing something which makes me think of a way I could kind of combine that with whatever I want to show. And a lot of time it could just be more inspirational than anything. Dungeon Death. I'm trying to start out as a digital artist and recently got a cheap drawing tablet. I already started liking drawing digitally and I was wondering if it's worth getting a screen tablet. We've had quite a lot of Cintiq discussion. I don't have a Cintiq. Do you work with a Cintiq or a screen tablet?
I do have a screen tablet. It's one of those cheaper brands, Huion. It's pretty good for a much lower price.
Had you tried a screen tablet before you got it?
No.
Okay.
But I've had a feeling I would have liked it more.
Right.
And I do, so.
Well, that's good. That's good.
It worked out, yeah.
Because this is the thing. Basically, if you're thinking about getting one, then if you can, try one first. If you know someone that has one, see if you can just try it for a bit. Because my experience is that I did try it for a bit and it wasn't for me. And that's mostly because I'd spent so long not using one. And I've become very comfortable in the sort of process and, what's capable, what is possible without one. So there's a bunch of things which felt like I was being slowed down from the screen tablet. So ultimately, see if you can find a place to test one out. I mean, most conventions will have In fact, I think Vertex in London, I saw they had all three. They had Huion, XP Pen, and Wacom all demoing their tablets. So if you can, try one out. Give it a test. And most people that I've talked to have sort of said that, yeah, they tried it and they immediately felt, this is great. I really enjoy this. This is what I want. Whereas I suppose really for me it was the opposite. Ultimately, neither have a limit on what you can do with them. So yeah, Strong Beyond Strong's got it. Like you can produce quality on a cheap stylus, basically. There's none of them are bad enough that they're going to properly restrict you from doing anything.
Wait, is that fish? Oh my god. Hey dude, it's been so long.
Oh god, there's so much comment. But I don't think these are questions, so I can go past them. Is Fish is my dish here?
Him. Yeah.
Fish is my dish, what's up?
How you been, man? Haven't seen you in a while.
Shadab says, one more important thing. I've used Photoshop and CS on the same device, and Clip was a lot laggy when using larger brushes. Okay. I feel like Photoshop should be the best at handling big files because it's been around for the longest. It's like, and I think it's designed for more of that like professional doing big marketing things use. I'm currently finding this is quite comfortable to paint in, and this is a 12,000 pixel high image because I just wanted to keep things big. It's not practical for some things, but it seems to work pretty well. I haven't had an experience of using other programs though, so I can't really compare, but I'd expect Photoshop to do it well. If it didn't, I'd be quite disappointed.
Do you mind saying hi really quick? Fish is a little confused.
Hello.
Does that answer your question?
Well, they're just asking
if we were talking or if I was just watching you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're talking.
We talking. Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to catch up with chat, so I'm not so behind. What are you working on at the moment?
I have to design 10 buildings for my homework.
Oh. Any particular architecture?
We had to pick an IP and we had to redesign it in a different location or culture. So I picked Assassin's Creed and I did Japan. So
nice. Yeah. Nice. That's a good combo.
I'm just a little worried that I might be going a little too crazy with some of these, but we'll see.
That's exciting. Jordan's the expert on voting design there, so you'll have to try and catch him on one of his streams for his insight, his wise knowledge.
I need to absorb all I can.
Yeah, like if I guess my approach should always just be like, I guess I need to think about the same things I'd think about if I was doing a character, right? Which is sort of true. Just have to like bend those ideas slightly so that they actually work on a building.
Yeah, I'm finding that it kind of works the same. It's just a lot more geometric.
Yeah, like everything needs to feel solid, and you can't like. I think the biggest thing is you can't rely on like nice looking anatomy to save you, because I'm aware that like a lot of design work, and I'm trying to avoid it as best as possible this time, but like I can just kind of make the character look nice in their physicality alone, and then just have most of their costume like wrap to their body or display their body. At which point it's like, well, is this a costume? Like, I'm already designing a costume. It's very much like just the character here. And that can be very effective. But it's probably not the best route. Do you have any
I
tips
think
for
for
presenting?
me, oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
I was just gonna say, for me, when I design characters, I feel like I'm still a little too bound by making it realistic, where sometimes I want to have fun, but I can't just like exaggerate too much.
Is that because you feel like when you do exaggerate, it doesn't look right? It's like it doesn't feel.
Yeah.
Because I'm aware that most exaggeration that I've done has been more recent. Like the more confident I get with characters, I think the more I'm looking to push.
Oh.
So and it makes sense because of course when you're learning that kind of thing, the advice is always you should learn the fundamentals first and then get the basics down so that you can break the rules with a knowledge of the rules. And I think that's true, basically. I really do, because you have to employ more and more subtlety to make a design or to make a character feel realistic, whilst breaking rules, because essentially you're breaking the big parts of the design and then trying to pull back the sense of realism in the areas that are more subtle, I think. Because if you stylize the subtle areas, it doesn't make a big impact. So you're never going to get that feeling of like a crazily pushed design or anything. So yeah, someone was going to ask, do you have any tips in preventing wrist injuries? Yeah, you just need to turn your tablet sensitivity up, way up. I can show you my sensitivity graph again, because I've made sure that I don't have to press hard to get the results I want from my tablet. And actually, as a side note to that, just your brushes sometimes can actually change that a lot. Like you can set your brushes into settings which means that they naturally become a lot darker and a lot more opaque quickly, which I think is worth doing sometimes. Like if you've got a textured brush that feels like you have to press really hard to get a solid result from, then mess around with its like settings, its blending mode and stuff, so that you can make it usable in a way that doesn't require the might of Zeus. But yeah, this is my current sensitivity graph, and like you can see, this stuff is just, I want to be able to get to full opacity really quickly. I don't want to have to press hard to get all the way up here. But by default, the tablet comes with a linear progression, so you have less control for light areas, and then you have to press at maximum pressure essentially to get a fully opaque line. How much RAM do I have? 16? I think 16 gigabytes, maybe 8. I have 2 sticks and I can't remember what they are. I think it's 16.
How big are your canvas sizes usually?
6,000 on the longest axis most of the time. That's probably what I'll be doing with these characters, is just putting them each in their own canvas, and it'll be about 6,000 tall.
Okay, because you probably have 16 with.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
So I used to have 8, and I would struggle at like 4,000 at the longest axis.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, that makes sense. Also, someone's saying that Assassin's Creed in Japan would be an awesome game. I agree.
I'm surprised they haven't done
Yes,
it.
they haven't done it yet. They need to do a cyberpunk one. Like, what are they waiting for? Also, I need to curiosity sated on the AMP brand to strengthen the social link. What is my AMP? Give me a sec. I need to look around the corner. It's a Sony DA24000 ES. Sony DA24000 ES. Whatever that is. Token Mokro. Hello, hello. Yeah, you probably heard this a bunch at this point. We just came here through ArtStation. Good luck, my guy. Thank you very much. In fact, I've continuously forgotten to post in the challenge page that I'm actually streaming the process. I forget, maybe I edited the last one to say that, but maybe I didn't. I'm going to do that now because it makes sense to. P.S. I'm streaming the process if you're interested.
Everyone should be interested. Everyone, tell your friends.
Error. Please contact ArtStation support or.
Oh no.
I guess reload. Try again. Are you the only one that found Cool Guy through Pinterest? Ah. I'm curious where on Pinterest. I've seen a couple of things that I've done on Pinterest, but it was when I was messing around with the reverse image search to see its limitations, and basically I'd put my image in. It was the Art War 2 piece, and me and my brother, we were just gradually distorting the image more and more to see at what point Google couldn't recognize it anymore. And it was remarkable what it could recognize. Like it's clearly doing multiple levels of analysis, essentially. The one that really it surprised us is that we did like a find edges on the image, and it found that, which essentially told us that it is doing something with edge detection, which is just a bit like that step more complex than I thought it would be. And of course, it could match colors if we like blurred it out, and it could detect it if you just flipped the image. But it did have trouble when you rotated the image, because at that point, edge detection doesn't line up as well. So it was, yeah, it was just really cool pushing those boundaries. Strong says, for ergonomic reasons, get good at drawing two lines based on the concept of push and pull. Push straight, pull curve, and then rotate the canvas for maximum comfort. Yeah, that's exactly it. I pretty much got that nailed. I'm curious, do you rotate the canvas a lot when working on the Cintiq? Sorry, not Cintiq, on a screen tablet.
Yes.
Cool. Because I was
Even
wondering...
when I use or draw traditionally, I'm turning whatever I'm drawing on a lot.
Well, that's the thing. I realized that, like, yeah, when you're drawing traditionally, you're always doing that because it's natural. It's one of the really nice things.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and it's really one of the nice things about having it in front of you. You can do that. Yeah, cool. That makes sense.
I'm just curious if that's like do people not think of that too much when they think about drawing digital?
Possibly not. I think
in my head it just makes sense, but then again, I've been doing it already, so I don't know if that's just because I'm used to it already, or if
Yeah, I mean, I'd really
newer-
like to know whether there was a point when I didn't, you know, like,
yeah.
should
Does
have
anyone
never
feel
realized
like
rotating the canvas would help so much. I don't know if that's because they have since started to do it or not, but possibly, yeah. Check out the Ghost of Tsushima. I feel like it's got the Assassin's Creed feel, but looks really impressive. I think I was watching gameplay of that, and it does look really, really cool.
yeah, that's a cool looking one. Actually, you're right. I haven't looked at it while I've been doing this. Whoever that was, you're smart. Did you know that?
No, what? Sorry,
I
run that
should
past
look
me
at
again?
to whoever said to look at Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm.
They're very smart. And
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, of
wondering if
course.
they
Yeah,
knew
you should be doing that right now.
that. I actually
that's
didn't think about it for some reason, but I felt like I should have.
Not enough research. Oh.
Don't tell my instructor. He's gonna
Yeah,
get mad.
don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Don't tell on me, please.
Stronger and Strong says, real talk, how do you cope with that smooth panning instead of it being binary? This is like playing air hockey whilst trying to paint at the same time. Actually mental. You mean like this? The smooth panning here. Well, I'm not smooth panning whilst I'm painting. It's smooth pan to get to a new place. What the thing I can't deal with is when you have the smooth zoom. That kills me. I remember when I first sort of realized I could turn it off, which was a long time ago. I was very thankful.
Do you mean when you hold
When it's like
Alt to just drag and zoom?
no, control plus and minus. Like normally it has like a slight animated zoom in and out effect.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I was like, oh, I can get rid of this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Should have found the pineapple boy in Pinterest. Fair enough. Fair enough. Google reverse image search is scary. Some do that with photos of people on Russian transit and got way too much info. Oh my god.
Oh.
Damn. You could probably find it quite easily. It was a train photo he took and then their Facebook or VK accounts. Wow. Well, that's cool.
Google's gonna take over the world.
That's a good tip. Thanks. Well, that's the thing. Like, of course, Google has access to these tools in the same way that the police has had like facial recognition for ages. But it's more just that people can use their publicly available tools
Yeah.
to do that. Kind of like I get a wave of vigilantes being like, "Yeah, here's a criminal that turned up on the news. Am I gonna find them? I'm gonna find
They've
where they
actually
live
done
through
that
Facebook."
before.
And I like it. I imagine so, but can you think of any like particular news stories? I'd love to see them.
I forgot what the specific event was, but there was like some sort of protest or something. Not the recent ones, but
Yeah.
there was one specific guy that like hit someone with a bike lock, and then people were trying to look for him, and then
Oh, that rings a
like
bell.
4chan people like
Oh,
Googled
yeah.
and like
4chan gets on the case and you're like, uh-oh.
yeah, and they actually found him, and then he
Ooh.
got charged for what he did because there's like a video taken of him
Oh,
doing it,
right.
and then
Oh,
they used that to try and find. Yeah, it's
that's
scary.
great. That's great. But they got justice. Like they then turned it to
Yeah.
like to be a police matter. That's good. Still a bit like, huh? But that's good.
Just the fact that they could do it is a little scary.
Yeah, you're like it's all fine when it's not you.
It's fine when it's used properly, but when it's not, it's
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
scared.
4chan's always been really resourceful, that kind of thing. Have you seen the Smash the Stone thing?
Oh yeah.
That's perfect. It's like it's so fun. but also like, yeah, it's just mobilizing the forces. Like, yeah, it's cool.
4chan is a very interesting and scary place.
Powerful. Yeah, if you want some less, more. So if you want some more out there crazy. No, hold on. I'm reading this terribly. Check out Sekiro. That's the point of the the comment. I'm illiterate and I can't read.
I clearly have not done enough research. Again, please don't tell anybody.
Don't tell the instructor. He's gonna beat me again. You don't do the control space, then left right to zoom in and out. Gotta go fast. Wait, control space.
Control space. Oh wait.
Control space left right. That doesn't do anything for me.
You have to drag your pen left to right.
Oh. Oh.
I just used to press Z and then Alt.
I didn't
didn't
know
know
that was
control
control
space
space. This might change my workflow a lot. The one thing I do like about the snap zoom is that it means I can get the perfect pixel relationship. Like being half zoomed in and out can sometimes give you that fuzzy pixel look. Like, because it's like a 27.3% zoom or something, and so it can't do a one-to-one relationship of pixels, or at least a nice ratio. But control space, I actually didn't know, and I've already used that just then, and it felt great. So, you know what? That might be another thing. Thank you. You've changed my life. I'm starting to believe. Look behind you. 4chan might already be there, waiting, watching. Ah. You gotta move your Netflix. I learned a new skill. Control space pen. Yay! Yeah, I've learned how to control a space pen. At last. Biros are space pens, right? Essentially. Isn't that why a biro exists? It's because they need to make something that would write in space. And
Oh right.
I could be totally wrong. Please fact check this. Don't just listen to me. Am I an auto hotkey god? If not, I can lift you higher still. So there's quite a few auto key or hotkeys that I do use, but I'm sure there's plenty I don't. That's all I'm gonna say. Like there's many things with layers that I constantly do, like Control Alt Shift D, and I've set various tools to like specific tools to be at shortcuts so I can use them. Replace colors, the main one that I've set that is different to normal, but otherwise, I don't know. I don't think I'm that much of an auto hotkey guy. Yes, I do know the layer alt thing. I just don't use it because ultimately I'm always having to look where I'm putting a layer, so it generally just doesn't affect me. The thing that I have done, which is quite, I feel, is a step beyond what normal people may have, or what other people may have, is that when I have multiple adjustment layers and like fog layers, things like that, this is generally when I'm working on environments, but it does help with characters too. I can group them, and I've made an action which will then merge them into every layer below that. So it will go through, make a mask of that layer, apply the adjustments, and then copy the adjustments below, so that you don't have to go through and do that manually. And this may just be a symptom of how I work, but I find that to be very useful. So yeah, it's real handy. And I just tap it over and over, and it just copies it below and applies it to everything. It doesn't work with like layers of pixels that you want, or that are currently at or on a specific adjustment layer, or have a specific blending mode. But everything else is fine. Like if it's just normal pixels on layer, then it'll do some good. Wait till I tell you how I move up and down layers with Shift W and S. Oh my god! Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actual knuckle dragging morons at the UX department. You didn't know about the shortcut to manage layers. Yeah, so that's the thing. You have to know the shortcuts to manage layers if you want to make actions that can then manage layers, because you have to input actions with generic commands, which most of the time means you have to input it with keyboard commands. Because if you click on a layer, then it references that layer name specifically, and then it won't work across documents. Do you use actions much? Have you ever used them?
I had some before, but I moved my system over to a new drive, so I forgot to save some of them, so they're gone.
Yeah,
it was mostly for like just merging stuff too.
Fair enough. Yeah, because like I realized that they've become 100% part of how I work, to the extent that I like forgot I was using them because I've assigned them to F keys, the hotkeys at the top. And so starting on a new system, I start pressing the F keys and nothing happens, and I go, huh? What's happening?
Like
something wrong? And then I realized, oh, I made that. Like that's something I put together. That makes sense. And it all comes flooding back. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that when I switched over to. I was like, wait, where are like these 3 things I used to use a lot? They're gone. What happened? And then I was sad.
Yeah, I think the main ones I've made it's a pretty small one, but it just copies the selection to a new layer and then deletes the layer it came from. So it's a Control-Shift-J, move the layer down, delete, move the layer back up. And I just use it all the time. Because if I want, like, say I'd merged these, duplicated them up, and I just wanted to get this eye, then what I do is I select the eye, and then I press, oops, my keyboard's stuck in the way. I press F5, and it gives me this with nothing else. And like I know that it's cleared anything that's beyond the canvas bounds as well. So sometimes if I'm just curious, if I know something's beyond the edge of the canvas and I don't want to bother cropping the entire thing again, I can just Control A and press F5, and it can delete everything that's not visible, which is nice. And then I can know that it's like a clean layer. Do you ever get the Alt FEB error sound as you went to color pick and changed your mind? I'm not sure what that is, but all of the notifications that are like pop up and say that I can tell to never pop up again, I have done, because something that pops up and prevents you from drawing on your canvas, again, is kind of like the worst design decision you could ever do in a program like Photoshop. I feel it horribly breaks the flow. It's like
I wish I could turn off every single one.
Right? It's like you do something wrong, and then the program's like, "Ha, idiot! Remember to click."
You couldn't do that? Like,
yeah, do you know you can do that? And then it's like, click OK, go on. You have to admit you did it. Click OK, and I'm like, God damn it, I want to paint. Man, riles you up. What's your favorite brush? It's a round brush that I'm using right now. I think this has actually got to be my favorite because I feel like I control it so well. A lot of painting I will start with the round brush because it allows me to control everything exactly how I want it to be. Yeah, muscle memory is so strong that you don't remember passwords, you remember patterns on keyboards. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I could use the crop tool for it, but sometimes I don't want to crop the entire image. So it's just, I just want to clean a layer, a single layer, and then move on. Aras Draws, hello. Love the work so far, so dynamic. Thank you. Yes, if you want to see some other fantastic dynamic poses, find New Milky on ArtStation. I can link it because I want to make sure you see it. I was looking at their art and like I had one of those moments where it was just like I need to go back and redraw everything because I've had like an immediate like level up in my ability to see like expression in poses. I think it's a weird thing to describe, but I've noticed quite a few of these like moments where I just see something that hits me and makes me think I need to get better at this thing specifically. And like I think to some extent I've just seen how I can also approach doing it. And unfortunately I don't have a good way to describe that, but I didn't really even need to have those up as references. I just like saw something in it that I went, like that's what I need to get. I need to get something that makes me feel like that when I draw it. And most of it's just like I need to think more as I do the pose. And I need to be critical of everything about it. I don't know, have you had those like epiphany moments basically?
all the time.
All the time? That's good. Because this is the thing, like
Yeah.
I get them sometimes, but some of them just feel so much more powerful than others. I mean, in one of those links, there's the one called Folk. There's the lady halfway down with the juicy butt, and that was like, it was mostly that image where I was like, this is so simple but so appealing. And I was like, how have they put so much appeal into that very simple pose? And how can I do it? So yeah, that was the start. I was just looking at that juicy bum. I was like, God damn, I want to make work like that.
Do you feel like it's when you get those moments, it's because you kind of felt like you're looking for it, even if subconsciously, and then when you see it, it's like, oh wait, that's what I was looking for.
I think yes, because you know, I was in the middle of drawing these characters and thinking like I need to push these characters further, and at the moment the pose is a big part of that. So I think absolutely yes, I was looking for a way to do better with my characters essentially. So I then saw someone doing characters really well, and I went, hey, that's it.
That's the secret.
That's the secret. That's the juice that I've been looking for.
It's the secret Big Mac sauce that I needed.
It's the Szechuan sauce. As you can tell, I have very high IQ. Big brain. Yes, I watch Rick and Morty. I understand it. I get it. Very clever. In fact, I need to see the rest of season 4 because I think most of it's out now. Where's the lamb sauce? I don't know why I used that accent. That's in fact total opposite of what it should be. I was trying to imagine his voice when he screams, "Where's the lamb sauce?" But I can't really.
Artistic liberty.
Yeah, artistic liberty, exactly. Interesting. I feel your work really pushes the dynamic poses a lot past your inspiration. So that's the thing. I'm going for overtly pushed poses, but there's a lot of subtlety in them that if you look at my current challenge submission, you can see where I have redrawn characters, and you can see them before and after essentially my redraw. I think Brave, this character here, is the best example of where beforehand it was really stiff. It was like an extreme pose, kind of, because she was midair and she had her legs bent, arms out, whatever, but it was really stiff and it didn't flow into itself at all. And that's where I was like, I need to change this, I need to fix this because it's not working. And basically all the characters I've had that approach to. I've gone back and really made sure that their pose works and feels like self-sufficient almost. I think the chef, Joyful, was also a good example of that. The before and after of Joyful exemplifies that sort of change quite well. Art learning is 99% epiphany. 3 months after looking at something, you'll be eating cereal and suddenly understand the universe. How long are you going to stream for? I'm going to be back, eat and be back. Maybe 15 minutes. Maybe only 15 minutes. Oh. I know, but I need to call my girlfriend.
His people need him.
How about this? I want to call my girlfriend. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, and then I can go to bed at a decent time, and then I can get up and power through the day doing pure art. I've been spending a lot more time. I'm almost rendering this character, but I think that's just because I had quite a clear idea of what colors I wanted. These trousers are going to be like a light yellow, not a full-on like cyberpunk yellow, but close. Essentially, I'm trying to capture the vibe of like a ton of different genres, and yet make these characters feel they fit in the same world. Because if they don't feel like they fit in the same world, I feel like that's a problem. And so that means like this character, I'm making sure that they keep the design, the sort of fundamental design language and stuff of the kind of cyberpunk genre. Like I'm going with like modern urban punk stuff with this design, but then I need to make the materials and color choice fall in line with what I've done elsewhere in this image. Arastros, yeah, I like the Juicy Bug Girl the most. Well, it is fantastic. It's quite beautiful, really quite beautiful. Have you seen the image I'm talking about? Listen.
Oh, sorry. I was
Sorry.
thinking about
Have you seen? Yeah, have you seen the image I'm talking about?
which
I can link it specifically just so I'm clear. I'll go through Discord. It's easier.
Okay.
This one.
Oh, I've seen this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool guys into juicy bums. I mean, have you seen my wild character? This is that's the point of the wild character. I was like, I'm gonna make a pose that feels just as like not quite, but very much explicitly sexy. You always forget to think about having interesting patterns directly on skin. You always try to clothe your characters incessantly. By the way, who am I talking to? I'm talking to Lucen GG. we need to link the duo stream again, the multi-stream. For everyone who doesn't know, we're currently a multi-stream. And let's just copy your... Why can't I click on your link? Listen, write something in the chat just so that they can click through the link easily.
Hello, it is I. Oops.
There it is. There's the Twitch channel. Go and follow it. Synthesis, what's a recent epiphany about art that you had? Well, I mean, I just described the main one. Basically. I think even more recently, like I was talking about earlier, there's a music artist, I'll link it in the chat. They released an album. I've been listening to that album. And the way that they have approached this album, like filling it with stuff, like incredible detail and like linking together stuff which would normally feel like they're switching and scatterbrained and changing between styles too much. Yeah, essentially, I feel like this is what I'm currently trying to achieve in these characters, is what I think that album achieves in music. That's my recent epiphany. There's not much specific on that, I'm sorry, but...
Did that come like later as you were working on it? Like the music kind of inspiring this?
I think it's more I'm seeing like a parallel between the two. I'm going like this feels like what I was aiming for, and now I'm even more like inspired to try and push for that, I think.
Cool.
So like the vibe of the music, I was just thinking about it, and I was thinking like this is what this is doing in music is what I want to do in these characters. It's what I've already been trying to do, but now I think I maybe have a better idea of approaching it, almost. And I don't even know how to put that into words, really. Partly because I haven't done it yet. Like I'm currently in the middle of coloring these characters, so I haven't got the answers of how I'm going to sort that out.
It's part of the fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And the pain. Also, thanks for all the follows.
My pleasure, dude.
The other side. Brush Cup. Abzu and Ari Midori. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh no, someone used the microwave. It kind of messes up my connection sometimes.
Oh, right. I was going to say, I can't hear it, but interesting.
Because I just dropped a bunch of frames all of a sudden.
Oops. I do remember reading something about positioning, because I think it was like my new... I got a router, and I think it had instructions to do with like putting it in the best place for the maximal effectiveness. One of the things was like try and avoid microwaves.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what its guideline on that was. Because it's something to do with like its presence or distance, or like if it has a direct line of influence towards one.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember, unfortunately. Which is a shame. Let's select this color range and then go crazy with it.
Yeah, we've got a... I just put my emote in because it's in the corner of my screen. Oh, hey, Aura. Hello. I'm so worried that these might be a little crazy. I don't want them to look boring either.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're like, have I been looking at these and thinking that they're going crazy, or like, am I now normalized to their craziness? I don't think they look too crazy. I think you could probably have room for like another big statement building,
Mhm.
like one that just feels top heavy. But I think these look like a really nice balance between pushing stuff that's real and still feeling like it that they could totally exist.
I think most of my worry is that I've never actually designed buildings before, so I don't know where the line is between too crazy.
Right, yeah, fair enough.
Okay. But it's okay. That's the whole reason I'm taking this course, so I can learn.
Yeah.
Though I don't think I would be or like to have this job.
Yeah, like doing specifically
Like props or layouts or something.
So it's interesting. I've actually been doing some prop work at work, and there's something really nice and calming about it.
Mhm.
Maybe it's because I'm just like I kind of know how to get a good looking result. So I can actually put a lot more thought into making it special and like fit the project perfectly, and then also just not really worry about finishing it, or like I don't have to worry about the final look because I know that I can quite easily make it look good. It's a
Mhm.
weird feeling, whereas I don't have that with characters. I still feel like characters are difficult enough to the point that I can't just let myself sort of run on autopilot, I guess. When it comes to finishing them, when it comes to like tightening up the design so that it feels presentable. And maybe not the design, like this is separate to the design thinking. It's more just the presentation of it. So it's been quite relaxing. And unfortunately, I've now gone back onto some important and very design heavy thinking character work, and I'm like, oh, my brain. I prefer designing boxes and sheds and stuff. Honestly, I wasn't doing boxes, but they were quite fun. But there's like putting personality into an object was really satisfying. I really enjoyed doing that, and I'm hoping that the 3D models it results in capture what I've tried to put into the concepts, because I genuinely think that they look nice. They're interesting images, more interesting than I thought they could be, or at least than they would be. And yeah, so I basically I just sort of I really enjoyed getting passionate about something I hadn't explored before. John J. Hyun, freaking love your art. And also you do Twitch? Amazing. Yes. Yes, Twitch.
Yes.
Twitch is good because then I can chat to people whilst I work. so it's more efficient. Efficiency is key.
Actually, that's something I wanted to ask you. What made you decide to try streaming?
I can't remember
Oh,
whether there was a specific thing. I think there was, but I'm not sure what that was. I think a friend was like, yeah, I'd streamed before, and I was like, oh, I can stream then. I know that Jordan, he had been doing a podcast. He'd started doing a podcast, and I thought that was really cool. And I was like, I'd also been on his podcast like during one of his episodes, and then I was aware that I didn't want to do anything anywhere like near as well polished as his. Essentially, instead of doing an organized thing with a guest and like questions and sections and stuff like that. I would want to just do the standard stream experience, but I think that pushed me towards actually doing it.
Cool.
He's since had to postpone it just because the person he's doing it with is currently unable to.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But for him, he's like, it's actually kind of cool because now he's just doing personal work streaming, and it is much more freeing because you don't have to worry about organization in the same way.
Mm-hmm. And all the like production side stuff, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's been really enjoying it, and I think to some extent he was like he'd seen me enjoying it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to start doing that too. So we've like influenced each other in both ways, which is fun. Someone's asking, are you familiar with Ray 17? I will have to have a look.
Oh, I know them. They do cool stuff.
Oh, and I totally see why they're bringing it up. This is what I want. I want some of this feeling in the finish that I have. Like this sense that the color's just scintillating a bit. There's a bit more movement to it, even in potentially a static object. Very, very good. I'm going to keep that up because that's a really nice reference. Thank you. Used to have an antique bookshop near me. I managed to pick up a book on modern Japanese architecture. It has so much information in it. Oh. Yeah, I think it's worth going to like some charity shops or something and just like seeing what books they have that would work as like really nice repositories of reference.
Oh, hey,
right. I'm gonna check, but this may soon be end of stream for me. But of course, you shall continue. So I will just. I'm assuming we can like stop the double stream and then I can just raid.
Yes, an option. Yes.
Cool. 5 more minutes. Which means we should do like speed round just to kind of roughly get things to where I want them to be. I think this kid also needs to have white looking, mostly white clothing. Doop, 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 doop. So let's do it.
It took me a while to realize that was a brain for that one.
Oh yeah?
What is that mass on top?
On here? Like,
Yeah, on that character.
it's a brain.
Big old brain.
It's a big brain. It's his. It's a brain. You want me to explain? Do you think there's a reason for it? It's a brain, man. It's a brain.
You just got a big one.
He's got a big one. He's the calculator of the group. He's like big think boy.
Yeah.
There's not too much like specific function of like the brain is his like essentially his locomotion device. I think it could be fun if sorry, fun sounds a bit odd, but I was wondering whether it might be an idea to imply that he is actually unable to walk or like move much on his own.
That'd be interesting.
And the brain is like his support on that front. But regardless, he does use it to move around. I mean, either way, he's the sort of character that just wouldn't want to move much on his own anyway. So at least that's sort of the vibe I want from him. And yeah, I plan to have like sketches of extra poses of the characters to the side, and they'll like show him in different positions, like the brain lifting him up to places, him having dismounted from it. To some extent,
so cool.
and I think yeah, it should add a lot more personality to it, because I sort of feel they're more like a duo rather than an integrated character. It's not his brain; it's the thing that he controls. I'm not reading Witch Hat Italia, no. This design hits those kind of notes in exceptional manga. I would like to. There's a bunch of things I need to read and watch. But this month is Hardcore Design Month. I will look at those things for reference, though. Like always, I'm just like, I open all the links and then get back to them later. His box, I think we're going to go for a bright blue. Something like quite sci-fi-y. But I'm still not entirely sure. And I had the idea that his box could be like a mishmash of abacuses and stuff. So it could be like a multi-planed abacus thing that he can like slides around the beads of to control.
It kind of makes me think of. Have you ever watched Jimmy Neutron?
Oh God!
That just makes me think of.
Please don't say it. I don't want that.
I couldn't help it.
I don't want that. Oh God!
Just forget I said anything. I didn't mention anything right now.
Not Jimmy Neutron, no. Actually, it's sodium chloride.
Oh, no.
No, dude, it's salt. So good. I love the memes. Poisson.
Wacom.
Man, you almost made me drop my poisson. That's where it reaches its peak when it starts combining. Yeah, they're great. But I haven't ever seen any Jimmy Neutron. But oh man, is it hideous. It's really hideous, you know? Alright, that's it for me though, unfortunately. It's got a bedtime.
Sleepy time.
Sleepy time. So yeah, these are cool. Individually, the colors work in terms of their balance, like areas of color balancing with other areas of color within a design. I am conscious that the yellow of the arms, the white of the thing, they feel present enough, but the other ones have a density of color like changes that maybe it works, and maybe I really shouldn't be looking at it as a whole, but I want to make sure that it is simple enough that from a distance the characters don't like become noise, essentially. Regardless, I think I'm mostly happy with the approach here. So that's my rounding up thoughts on the art. Thank you. This has been really nice. Let's definitely stream together again. It's lovely just having have something to bounce ideas off of. Do you want to? Is it end the dual stream and then does that where does that send people? And if I just raid you, does it end the dual stream? Technically, where?
Yeah. Actually, for the multi-stream link, it'll just end up showing 2 of mine because it kind of just takes the video player and shoves it into both of them into one page.
So will they technically be watching your stream at that point?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do a slash raid you, but ultimately, otherwise, yeah, it's just. I mean, maybe if you like raid from the dual stream channel, maybe that actually works and it sends everything to you.
It works the same. The chat and the video will just become mine on both of the little windows.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, that sounds good then.
So there's no difference. It's just they'll see two of me.
Just get two of you.
Yeah.
God damn. I mean, I wouldn't complain. Oh. All right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's been
no,
great.
thank you for having me.
And
We'll do
farewell.
this again.
Yes, definitely. And get
And
Cheese Wheel in.
yes, I will try and force him anyway possible.
It's nice. I like having groups.
Yeah, it's
All
really
right.
fun.
Hopefully, also at a time, it's not like the end of the week when we're just like half asleep.
Yes.
All right. See you, dude.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye bye.